All right, so do you get kind of tense on your way to work and maybe sweat while you're there? Well, stress in the workplace can be devastating to you both physically and mentally. But there are ways to handle the stress without committing career suicide. Joining us now with some great advice on the issue is Karen Kodzik. She's an expert on career counseling and advice for professionals at Cultivating Careers. Good morning and thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, huge topic. Everybody's got stress in the workplace at some point in time or another. Nobody's just having a great time at work every day. What are some of the factors that maybe contribute to the problem? I guess one of them is workload, but there's a lot of factors that can work in here.
There are. You know, beyond the workload, sometimes it can be the pace that work is done in the environment. Sometimes it can be the boss, and that's really more of a personality clash. Sometimes it can be the culture. You know, the culture is just not a place that aligns with your style of work. And sometimes it can be even intrinsic things like values. The work you do and the place you work no longer aligns with what's important to you.
Wow.
And people don't realize that that internal trigger can cause stress.
Right, a lot of stress, and just can feel so heavy when you're trying to just function on a daily basis. But how do you know if it's having a negative impact? You know, some people deal with their stress okay. They know it's there, they go home, they forget about it. But when do you know, or when can you tell that, hey, this is really killing me?
You know, I think one of the first indicators, and I'll often ask this of new clients that come in, is do you have that Sunday night dread? where you know, Monday is looming and you have that horrible feeling in your stomach and you're not excited to go, you're dreading. And dread is not a good thing. I think that's a really important indicator that this isn't a good situation.
And I imagine it's not just the dread of working, but the dread of working where you do.
That's right.
So you really have to maybe pick
going
up on
to that job that next morning and causing that feeling of dread, I think, is one of the first indicators that, you know, stress is really a part of what's happening in your work life right now.
And sometimes fear can work in there too.
Yes. You know, and fear can be not knowing what's happening at work, being uninformed or underinformed, especially in changing work environments where there's layoffs. And, you know, people are just waiting. They talk about waiting for that other shoe to drop.
You can feel it sometimes.
And is it coming? Is it coming my way? You know, that really can be fearful for people and add to their stress.
All right, so there's three ways, basically three steps to evaluate or determine how to best deal with work-related stress. Let's go over them.
Yeah, I think it's first identifying what is it? What is it that is the source of the stress? Is it, you know, is it the boss? Is it actually the job? Is it the environment? Is it something else that's bleeding into your work life? You know, before you can make any changes, you have to understand what the source is. Secondly, are any of those things temporary? Sometimes when work seems craziest, you think this is how it's going to be forever. And sometimes it's just a speed bump.
A phase.
It's a phase. That's right. And so, you know, understanding to say, okay, how long am I going to wait and see if things stabilize?
How long can you put up with it? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And so develop a roadmap is the final one.
That's right. You know that people, I always say to people, everybody has options. It's when people feel trapped is when they feel most stressed, that they don't have any options, any places to go, or they have no control over the situation.
All right, if you're at that point, is changing jobs really the only way out or the only way to deal and get rid of that?
It's not. People don't have to bolt. I always caution people, don't bolt. Assess your options. And sometimes options can be within your job, sometimes it can be within the employer. And sometimes after you've exhausted those, then look outside to say, okay, really, is there a better place? Is there a better fit?
All right, and sometimes changing jobs, can be the best way out, and
sometimes.
But there's stress there too.
That's right.
That's right. Just discussing.
It's hard to be new in new place.
All right, well, Karen Kodzik of Cultivating Careers, thanks for being with us. Great advice, great tips.
Great, thank you.
Have a great day.